In yesterday's video, we spoke about the likely continuation of Bitcoin at 93,000 bucks based upon this reaccumulation formation right here on the lower term timeframes during that live stream. And in today's video, we'll be going over the next signal kind of emerging here on the shorter term timeframes, which I think is going to be of significant interest, especially to the sideliners out there. But before we get into this one, I want to share with you a little bit of a story. I've made a massive mistake, probably the biggest mistake of my career in the last 24 hours. I introduced Elsa to shitcoining. I gave her a nice little small portfolio to manage, and she went all out on the risk curve. As you can imagine, her favorite one is peanut coin, and it actually like 2x'd overnight apparently. And so this fucking morning, she barges into my room while I'm sleeping. She's never done this before, by the way, never done this at all. And she wakes me up. She wakes me up and says, "My peanut coins are above $2. I need to sell. Wake up." And I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Let me sleep. Anyway, she also has a massive thank you for introducing her to all of the great tickers on Twitter. If you want to suggest more shitcoin tickers to her, it's on her Twitter page. Anyways, let's just get into the actual analysis of the day. So starting off with some price statistics right here. Thursday, again, more weight, or actually, sorry, it's not more weighted in terms of negative closures, more or less a coin flip probability as to whether it's likely to close positively or negatively, slightly in favor of positive closures. But once again, I'm most interested in the actual returns on average for these ranges, especially to the downside, because if you notice to the downside, all of the moves to the bottom side of these range lows were essentially buy areas in a more aggressive sense, actually. And you can see that today is actually almost already gotten to the bottom end of that region. Perhaps it could go a little bit lower towards 89,150, but the top side of the range is now at about 92,500 bucks. And, technically speaking, it probably could overperform that. Again, when you're in a bull market, you expect, your positive gaining days to have the potential to actually outperform, and in a bear market, vice versa. But right now, I don't know, it might be in a bull market. Who knows? It depends who you ask on Twitter, I guess. Anyways, also, I just completely forgot to mention, but yesterday I did a quick video, a very, very quick video on how you can get the biggest fee discounts on any exchange that I'm aware of for all of your fees, regardless of whether it is a limit order or a market order. And you can find the link in the description below. It'll look something like this right here. For Bluffin, it'll be 10% off of all of the fees for the lifetime of your account, actually. And I'll put it at the end of this video as well. And actually, I'll just like my own video. There we go. Anyways, yeah, that's there for you. You can secure that. I don't know how long it'll go on for, but if you secure it, you get that 10% off again on all of your fees for a lifetime. So anyways, just an easy way to save yourself a few bucks, or maybe even make a little bit more as well. Anyways, okay, yes, so we've spoken about this. Let's now get into the short-term timeframes. So Bitcoin as it is right now is actually rather interesting. Similar to yesterday, there is still potential for one more drive of continuation here, but things are now really starting to show a tangible signal that Bitcoin is going to be playing out the pullback that I think a lot of people on the sidelines are looking for, as of now. Now, first things first, if we go over here to the 4-hour time frame, and we'll kind of work our way up from here. Let me just make sure this is available in the background. Okay, there we go. We can see that there is bearish divergence already forming. We saw a couple drives last night that did beget the current correction from about 93 all the way down to a low of 88. Now, Bitcoin is seemingly putting in a drive of hidden bullish divergence, or potential for hidden bullish divergence here. The thing is that while this actually remains to be confirmed, although I think that it probably does, Bitcoin very, 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 very likely is going to play out a deeper pullback after this next pop to the upside. You're going to get likely 3 drives of bearish divergence, and that is when most of these rallies do go into, in this case, a 4-hour long consolidation. So things probably slow down a little bit compared to what they have been for this past couple of weeks, which has been literally fucking vertical. So in this case, again, high number 1, high number 2, lower highs on RSI. It's the third one that I'm always concerned with. But for now, there is potential for that hidden bullish divergence between this low and this potential low going on over here. How would you confirm hidden bullish divergence? Bitcoin closing a 4-hour time frame back above this high here, which is 91,250. If you see that, Bitcoin very likely retests yesterday high at 93.5. maybe even make slightly new highs, things can get crazy. Maybe it's even 95,000 bucks or 96. You never know with these sort of things. But again, we are witnessing volatility extremes here. So one more pop up, and very, 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 very likely Bitcoin is in for that short-term pullback. Now, again, that is pending confirmation, a closure above 91,250 for confirming that hidden bullish divergence. If Bitcoin does close below, however, let's go over the other side. If Bitcoin does close below, where's my daily? Yes. If Bitcoin does close below 88,250, at that point, yes, you are going to see Bitcoin play out that correction first rather than continuation first. But I am still leaning towards one more drive to the upside here. I know it sounds fucking crazy. It's been sounding crazy for the last couple weeks, but these times, they don't happen too often in markets. So, don't let yourself get lulled into a false sense of security. Things usually do not move this fast. Anyone who's been here for the past year knows that. But just a quick reminder, because these things don't last for forever and they don't happen often. So anyways, going back into it right here, again, volatility extremes, not just on the 4 hour, but on the 6 hour as well. So, if it has one more pop to the upside, that's completely fine. Very likely makes a slightly new high. I think that it probably will. Again, hidden bullish evidence potential for here as well on the 6 hour time frame. But after that, extremely likely we do see a medium term time frame pullback, and that's very likely to bring Bitcoin back down somewhere around the low 80s, I would suspect, pending a few things. But of course, we need to actually get it first. Now, again, going over here to momentum charts, we can see that the 4 hour time frame is showing downside momentum actually, as long as Bitcoin's below 91.7 on a 4 hour closing basis. 6 hour time frame is also going to be showing downside momentum as long as Bitcoin's below 91.9. So it is very possible that Bitcoin actually does even confirm a local high here, and we actually see the pullback emerge from where Bitcoin's at right now. 12 hour time frame also showing downside momentum as long as Bitcoin's below 93,550 or so. So again, as it works off these extreme conditions right here, yes, it's very possible we do see one more pop higher. Like I said, area of interest to the upside would be probably yesterday's high. That would bring Bitcoin back up to the 88 spot 3% level of historic returns over here on the daily HPDR. But after that, I'd be very skeptical of like immediate continuation, like from exactly there without a bit of a pullback first. Of course, I can be wrong on that. You will know that I'm wrong on that if you see Bitcoin close above yesterday's high very specifically. I know that's not super helpful because obviously it's already quite high, but at that point, Bitcoin really could, it really could go towards 100,000 within the next week. Again, looking at the monthly right here, Bitcoin's getting very, very close to a major level. The monthly median, which is officially at 96,500 bucks. Again, I would be expecting a pullback there, so it could very well look like Bitcoin gets continuation here, maybe see a new high at 96. Again, these things can get fucking crazy, but I would be expecting a pullback from there. That is an extremely high probability of seeing a pullback on the first test of that median, even if later on it does reclaim it. But the first pass, very likely to produce a bit of a pullback. And keep in mind, a 10% pullback now is about 9,000 bucks. So if Bitcoin were to theoretically hit 96, it could pull back to 87 or 88. So it depends how high Bitcoin gets here first before judging pullbacks. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin just generally rally into Thanksgiving. Anyways, okay, yes. So we got that. We spoke about how to confirm a pullback. If it happens from the current stance, expect a closure on a daily time frame below 88,250 or 88,300. If you see that, pull back first. Until that happens, more likely to see continuation first. Again, I know it's fucking crazy, and then a pullback later, potentially all the way up to 96,500 bucks. Absolutely insane. So again, if you're not a lobotomized more, and you can figure out how to manage something, with those pivots in mind, hopefully, which I know that most people on this channel are not actually. But of course, when a new market starts, we all start off as lobotomized morons. People think that I'm trying to talk down to people. No, not at all. I am the head of the lobotomizations. The lobotomization department. I was the first one to lobotomize. Well, not the first one, but everyone goes through a lobotomy when they first get into markets, and it's not until you get your hands burned a few times before you actually learn. just my experience. Perhaps many other people out there can confirm that as well. Anyways, now for next week, I do think that things will very likely trade higher. Looking at the weekly HPDR, if Bitcoin closes anywhere above 90,000 or even 89,900 by Sunday, I'm looking for next week to make that move into the deeper 90s. Same thing over here on CME as well, actually. In fact, this pivot a little bit more lenient. As long as Bitcoin's above 86,900, next week very likely does have one more try higher. So again, after a 7 to 8 month long consolidation, 2 weeks of straight up, it does look crazy, but within the context of the greater picture, maybe a little bit less so. Keep in mind that at some point we will see a weekly pullback will happen. You'll see a daily higher low at some point as well. But these things can take time. I think we're at the end of the video here now as well. I don't want to take too long, but oh yes, one other thing suggesting that Bitcoin does continue here. Again, bringing up the meta signals just because they've been on fucking fire recently. I can just say that straight up. I mean, when you hit 69% of your target ones over the course of a full month, and this month is probably going to be about the same, possibly even better. I mean, it's an easy thing to show, honestly. But in this case, target one for this current setup, which is a 3-hour time frame setup that they called out earlier this morning, is actually at 93,500 bucks. Again, that has had a 69% probability of being hit recently. Target 2 significantly higher. Target 3 is in the 6 digits. Very, very low probability for this. I believe it's in the 30%. But we'll see. We'll see if there's ever going to be a time for these sort of things. I guess I guess it might be. But of course, this comes with a stop loss as well. It needs to see a closure below this area right here, which is 89,320. So actually very much in alignment. Well, funnily enough, man, it's actually very, very much in alignment with the pivot that I gave out here. 89 or sorry, I'm saying 88, more like 88.3, so I'm about $1,000 lower, but still not bad. On top of that, they also had this one fire off for AVAX, hitting all 3 targets almost immediately. Fucking crazy. Again, plenty of tries towards that stop loss, but no closures below, so that one stays open. And it looks like even Cardurpio getting in on the action as well, hitting all 3 of those. So not bad. You can check out their link in the description below. Again, this is for the people who want spoon feeding. I understand that there's just some people out there who want that, and fair enough. It alerts you to when you have a probabilistic setup in your favor, and then you can do with that information as you will. Anyways, I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this video. Again, just a quick reminder that over this next weekends here, we'll do another one of these weekly Q&As. We've had a shit ton of questions for this week. You're 100% welcome to join on the fun in the Discord. It's completely free to join in. Again, there's a link in the description below. If you want to contribute to the weekly Q&A, you can ask here. All right, cool. That's where we'll end things for today. As always, I want to wish you the best of best. Crazy times call for crazy measures, but I would really be beating the drums of caution in the short term here, because Bitcoin could very easily put the pullback from where it's already at instead of continuation. But still, I have to lead towards a slightly higher probability of continuation first, and then a pullback, I guess, at least for another day, which sounds absolutely insane, at least to myself. So we'll end things on that note. As always, I want to wish you the best of best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.